Now watch what Joseph instructs his family to say to Pharaoh. Pay attention to this. Again, verse 33, he says, when Pharaoh calls you and says, "What is your occupation?" you shall say, "Your servant's occupation has been with livestock." We're shepherds. "From our youth, even till now, both we and also our fathers, that you may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians." Shepherds were an abomination to the Egyptians. They detested shepherds. They like wool, they like lamb to eat, but they detested shepherds and sheep. Why? Because Egypt was a land of farming, and sheep will destroy your farmland. Joseph, now watch this, he instructed his family that when Pharaoh asks your occupation, tell him you're shepherds and that you keep livestock. And not only that, tell him you've been shepherds your whole life and that your fathers were shepherds and your grandfathers were shepherds. All you know is shepherding. This is what you guys are all about, shepherding. Make that clear to Pharaoh. Now, we might expect Joseph to say to his family, "Hey, they detest shepherds here in Egypt, so when Pharaoh asks you about your occupation, don't say you're a shepherd. Tell him you work in supply chain management or textiles or you're an analyst, but just don't mention that you are a shepherd." But Joseph gives his brothers the opposite advice. They think shepherds are an abomination here, so make sure you tell him you're shepherds and that you've always been shepherds and that your parents were shepherds and your grandfather was a shepherd and that all you know is shepherding. Make sure you tell him, make that clear when he asks. Why? Because when Pharaoh finds out that they're shepherds, he's going to have them settle in the land of Goshen, away from all the Egyptians. He's going to separate them. "Oh, you're shepherds? You guys have to go live over here, away from us." And here's what's going to happen. Listen, give me your attention. They will be separated from all of the corruption and all of the pollution of the Egyptian culture and their paganism and their idolatry and their immorality. Joseph wisely instructs his family to tell Pharaoh they are shepherds for their own purity, for their own preservation. He knew Pharaoh would say, "Your shepherds, go live in Goshen. We don't want you living around us. We don't like shepherds. We'll put you off by yourself, separated from us." Great. Then we won't be defiled by the Egyptians. Living in Goshen will keep Israel pure and holy and undefiled from the Egyptian culture. I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to boldly identify with Jesus Christ in our culture, whether that's at school or at work or wherever it may be, for your own purity. For your own purity. I hear Christians sometimes say things like, "Well, I don't really want to tell people that I'm a Christian because I know some people find Christianity offensive. And so I don't want to broadcast that I'm a Christian because I don't want to be ostracized at work or at school or treated differently than anyone else or get excluded from things because of my Christian beliefs." No, that's a reason why you should broadcast that you're a Christian. So that those who think Christians are an abomination to society and that the Bible is an abomination on our culture and the church is an abomination, so that they don't want to be around you. And they don't want you around them. And that isolation will preserve your purity and your holiness and your separateness to God. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17 says, "Come out from among unbelievers and separate yourself from them, says the Lord." Be separate from them. Hebrews chapter 7, verse 26 says Jesus was holy, undefiled, and separate from sinners. You broadcast that you're a follower of Jesus Christ. You start telling people that you're a follower of Jesus Christ, you'll see a separation happen. You'll see a separation happen. Jesus said, "You are the light of the world, like a city on a hill that cannot be hidden." No one lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. You let your light shine for Jesus Christ. And it's going to bring a separation. And it will help to preserve your purity, your holiness. Because Jesus also said that light has come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds are evil. And just like if you turn on a light and the roaches scatter, you start shining your light, you're going to see who you know thinks that Christianity is an abomination and Jesus is an abomination, that Bible stuff and that church stuff is abomination. Because they're going to split. They're not going to want to be around you. So don't hide your light. Let your light shine for your own purity's sake, to preserve your holiness. Yeah, but I won't get invited to lunch anymore. Yeah, and you won't be defiled by the conversation at lunch anymore. You see? It'll keep you pure.